Hey everybody, this is Jarrett from Simple Guy Gaming, bringing you guys a brand new video. Today is going to be a first video in a long-running series I'm planning for the channel, where we're going to be going through the Dragon Age series, starting with Dragon Age Origins, moving on to Dragon Age 2, then on to Dragon Age Inquisition. Doing this before the release of Dragon Age Dreadwolf, which is supposed to release later this year of 2024. Now, that is a hope. If it doesn't happen, I will still be doing the series, and I will do the full series up until the release date. I'll try to extend the videos out for as long as I can, but if I do end up beating the games beforehand, I would at least like to have all three games up for viewing pleasure. The way I'm going to be doing the series is I'm going to be doing a lot of the side quests off camera, I believe. That way you guys don't have to sit here and watch me do all these side quests, because that's how I kind of do RPGs, is I go through the main stories, but I also like to do the side quests. If you guys are wanting me to do the side quests, put it in the comment section down below, and I will definitely record side quests while I play the videos. I don't know how long each of these videos are going to be, so let's go ahead and get started into Dragon Age Origins, the story. Like I was saying, I don't know how long these videos are going to be. I'm going to try to get them to be as long as possible, but let's go ahead and let this cinematic play.
The Chantry teaches us that it is the hubris of men which brought the Darkspawn into our world. The mages had sought to usurp heaven, but instead, they destroyed it. They were cast out, twisted and cursed by their own corruption. They returned as monsters, the first of the Darkspawn. They became a blight upon the lands, unstoppable and relentless. The Dwarven kingdoms were the first to fall, and from the deep roads, the Darkspawn drove at us again and again, until finally we neared annihilation. Until the Grey Wardens came. Men and women from every race, warriors and mages, barbarians and kings. The Grey Wardens sacrificed everything to stem the tide of darkness, and prevailed. It has been 4 centuries since that victory, and we have kept our vigil. We have watched and waited for the Darkspawn to return. But those who once called us heroes have forgotten. We are few now, and our warnings have been ignored for too long. For I have seen with my own eyes what lies on the horizon. Maker, help us all.
I love the opening to this game. It is such a good opening. Definitely tells you everything you need to know in the first couple of minutes, and then it just kind of throws you into it. Alrighty. So if you guys have never played Dragon Age Origins before, the background you select will determine which of the 6 distinct opening stories you play through. It also affects how characters respond to you throughout the game. So, with that being said, if you're playing an elf, you'll be mostly hated, because elves have this disdain toward them. You're playing a dwarf, most people just trying to kind of treat you like either that you're beneath them because you're not human, or they kind of treat you like you are really badass. Human is kind of the in-between character. So like, because elves are usually better mages most of the time. That's why they have +2 to willpower, +2 to magic. Dwarves are better like warriors, because they have the +1 to strength, 2 to constitution. However, they can be good rogues with that +1 to dexterity. And then they have the 10% chance to resist hostile magic, which means that they are good against mages. Me, I usually like to play humans for the playthrough, and I usually go with a rogue just so where you get that early you can get some early items throughout the opening, because you can open chests essentially. I think this is the best playthrough for me. However, my original character that I played when beating Dragon Age Origins was a dwarf warrior. So you do have, and I've played all 3 races, I've played all the backgrounds, and so I just feel that for me personally, the best playthrough is the human rogue noble. I think that hands down the best playthrough that you can do. Because you can also do the elf Dalish and city elf rogue, warrior, mage. However, no matter which race you pick, if you do the mage, you are magi. You have to play that particular opening story, which makes the dwarf story and the human or the dwarf story so cool, because you actually play the dwarf commoner or a dwarf noble. It mirrors the human's choice, so long as you're a warrior and rogue, or not really mirrors it. It shows you that the human nobles and the dwarf nobles are far different, especially if you do the noble or the noble playthrough. Dwarf commoner is more for like if you were to play a city elf. It kind of shows you the disdain between the two. Now, with that being said, I think I'm gonna still choose the human noble for my playthrough with the rogue class, just because I, again, really love the opening to the humans playthrough. So we're gonna go ahead and do that.
Greetings.
So with this, I'm gonna go ahead and do all of this off camera, just so where you guys don't have to sit here and watch me customize the character. So alrighty, so this is the character I've chosen to go with. My customization is done. So because I'm playing as a rogue, I usually do a couple points in that, a couple points there, but I also throw some into strength, because strength measures a character's physical prowess and directly affects the damage a character deals in physical combat. It also contributes to the accuracy of melee attacks. High strength is essential for warriors, in particular if they wish to wield two-handed weapons. It is nearly critical for rogues. So strength is kind of important. Dexterity is a measure of agility, reflexes, and balance. Higher dexterity improves a character's chance to hit, makes the character more likely to dodge incoming blows, contributes to the damage dealt by piercing weapons like daggers or arrows. Archery and dual weapon fighting styles demand high dexterity to master, making this attribute a favorite for rogues. Willpower just represents how much mana you have, but it also affects how much stamina you have to do special attacks. Magic is a measure of the character's natural affinity to the arcane. The attribute is crucial for mages since it directly increases the character's spell power score, which determines the potency of all spells. The magic attribute also determines how effective potions, poultices, and salves are for all classes. So I usually kind of dump a couple of points into magic later on when your potions become a little more required throughout the game, but we'll kind of just leave it there for now. Cunning determines how well a character learns and reasons. Most skills, such as herbalism or combat tactics, require a quick mind to master. And an observant eye can more easily find weaknesses in enemy armor. Rogues benefit most from this statistic as many of their class abilities and special attacks rely on subtlety or reading the target, not raw strength. And then Constitution is how much health and resilience you have. So the starting skills, I usually... I do really like to go with oh god, I always mispronounce words. Coercion, because this helps you be able to pass speech checks, which can then get you some really cool early on items. Again, also like to go with the deft hand, because again, lockpicking is like one of the greatest skills in the game because of that. So we're also going to go with the dual wield training, because I always go with the dual wield rogue. We're going to play on normal just because, you know, we're only doing this for the story, for the sake of the YouTube channel. Maybe when I do a modded playthrough, I'll up the difficulty to hard or whatever, but we're just going to be playing this for now. There is a quick little...
For generations, your
family,
family, the Kuzlans, has stewarded the lands of Highever, earning the loyalty of your people with justice and temperance. When your country was occupied by the Orlesian Empire, your father and grandfather served the embattled kings of your land. Today, your elder brother takes up House Kuzlan's banner in service to the crown. Not against the men of Orlais, but against the bestial darkspawn rising in the south.
I trust then that your troops will be here shortly.
I expect they will start arriving tonight, and we can march tomorrow. I apologize for the delay, my lord. This is entirely my fault.
No. The appearance of the Darkspawn in the south has us all scrambling, doesn't it? I only received the call from the king a few days ago myself. I'll send my eldest off with my men. You and I will ride tomorrow just like the old days.
True, that we both had less grey in our hair then, and we fought Orlesians, not monsters.
At least the smell will be the same. I'm sorry, Pup, I didn't see you there. Hal, you remember my son?
I see he's grown into a fine young man. Pleased to see you again, lad.
Alrighty. So this is going to be... the reason I like this start is because I feel like this start is... It directly affects the game more than the rest of them, because of the interactions that you have in the beginning.
My daughter Delilah asked after you. Perhaps I should bring her next time. Good. She's talked about you ever since she saw you at a fair in Denerim. I think you have an admirer, young man.
At any rate, Pup, I summoned you for a reason. While your brother and I are both away, I'm leaving you in charge of the castle. Only a token force is remaining here, and you must keep peace in the region. You know what they say about mice when the cat is away, yes? There's also someone you must meet. Please, show Duncan in.
It is an honor to be a guest within your hall, Tyrn Kuzland.
Your lordship, you didn't mention that a Grey Warden would be present.
Duncan arrived just recently, unannounced.
Of course not. Guest of protocol. I am at a disadvantage.
We rarely have the pleasure of seeing one in person, that's true. Pup, Brother Aldous taught you who the Grey Wardens are, I hope. They are the heroes of legend, who ended the Blights and saved us all. Duncan is looking for recruits before joining us and his fellow Wardens in the south. I believe he's got his eye on Sir Gilmore.
If I might be so bold, I would suggest that your son is also an excellent candidate.
Honor though that might be, this is one of my sons we're talking about.
Give me 1 second. There we go.
I've not so many children that I'll gladly see them all off to battle. Unless you intend to invoke the right of conscription.
Have no fear. While we need as many good recruits as we can find, I've no intention of forcing the issue.
Pup, can you ensure that Duncan's requests are seen to while I'm gone? In the meantime, find Fergus, and tell him to lead the troops to Ostagar ahead of me. Upstairs in his chambers, no doubt, spending some last moments with his wife and my grandson. Be a good lad and do as I've asked. We'll talk soon.
Then, of course, we get into the tactical view, issuing orders. Alrighty, now that we're here, let's go ahead and option video. Clean full screen mode. I don't know why that was off. Let's go ahead and turn that on. Settings. Alrighty. So let's go ahead. Also, this is going to be my first time playing it on the PC, so it's definitely going to be a new experience.
It has begun.
But now, see, a lockpicker. Perfect. And then you can come in here and definitely, again, this is definitely going to be a new experience for me, everybody, so hopefully not too bad. Like I said, this is the first time I'm playing it on the PC. I've mostly played it on the Xbox 360.
Good evening, my lord.
So this is definitely, like I said, going to be a real experience for me. Nothing really in here, I don't think. Else to interact with, so we can go. Now, the reason I do this is because, again, I like to play these games where I actually actively sort of look for, like, everything I possibly could. So, go to every door.
Very well. Oh, my lord, we were just, well, the treasury's safe. I'm not even sure why the Terran stationed us here. No, my lord, of course not. Yes, my lord. Thank you, my lord.
I also do like to roleplay a little bit into the game. Like, I like to take into consideration like what my character class is, and I think that's one of a lot of things that this game does allow you to do, which is basically become the character that you
There
play.
you are. Your mother told me the Terran had summoned you, so I didn't want to interrupt. Pardon my manners, my lord. It's simply that I've been looking all over the castle for you. I fear your hound has the kitchens in uproar once again, and is threatening to leave. No matter how the maids try to keep him out, he always finds a way in. You know these Mabari hounds. They listen only to their master. Anyone else risks having an arm bitten off. That would be wise, before Nan tears down the walls. You're quite lucky to have your own Mabari warhound, you know. Smart enough not to talk, my father used to say. Of course, that means he's easily bored. Nan swears he confounds her just to amuse himself. At any rate, your mother would have me accompany you until the matter is settled, shall we? Just follow the yelling. When Nan's unhappy, she makes sure everyone knows it.
Good evening, my lord.
Hello, my dear boy. By chance, I am beginning to teach these young squires about your family's history.
Do we have to? History is boring.
Boys, you
I
are
like this
referring to the
because-
Couslands, the very family in whose castle you live. Show some respect.
The way that they can bring the lore into the game, just being
If the mind is not
just in a
exercised,
regular
it
conversation
withers just
like
as
this.
the body does.
I think a lot of games
Perhaps
just
you
kind
care
of
to
throw the
join
lore at
me
you in
in
like
teaching
a
the
lot of
lesson?
books. Like, well, granted, this one does do this, but conversations like this kind of show that they're trying to build the world
Wonderful.
that you live in might be a
Cousland
living,
history is
breathing,
long indeed.
and
Where
I
shall
just
we
think it's
start?
perfect.
Records are vague, but the Couslands became Tierns during the Black Age. Is that familiar, child? Good. I'm pleased some of my lessons seem to have stuck. At that time, your family held only the minor title of Ban. When the werewolves reached this area, Ban Mather Cousland organized a curfew and patrols within the city. Several other local bands supported his efforts by swearing oaths of fealty, making him their Tiern. Well, I'm glad some of my lessons don't disappear into that yawning chasm between your ears, young man. If I were truly a skilled tutor, I suspect I would not encounter such insouciance amongst my pupils. You can look that up later. At any rate, your family has held the tournure of High Ever since before King Callan had united Ferelden. In fact, Tierna Elethea Cousland battled Calanhad to maintain High Ever's independence. Calanhad wished to unite Ferelden, not conquer it. After Elethea's men were defeated, Calanhad asked her to swear fealty. The boulder where they held council still stands today as a memorial of that event. The Couslands are ardent royalists now, but at that time, Calanhad was unknown and considered dangerous by
See,
many.
like it's building
When
the
Calanhad's
story
army
around
reached Highever,
like
Tierna
the House of
Elethea led the
Cousland,
local
which
bands
you,
against
of course,
him.
are part of the house.
Obviously,
It is such
Calanhad won.
a great way to just put things into it, and it is just, and I just love it.
The history between the Couslands and the House reaches back to the Orlesian occupation. During your grandfather's rule, of course, Orlais found it difficult to hold these lands. During the rebellion against Orlais, several battles were fought near High Ever. Port village of Harper's Ford was the tourneur's center. Its Arl was Tarleton Howe. Though nearly 90, he was still as sharp and bitter as cheap ale. Your grandfather openly supported the rebellion, but Howe sided with Orlais. Your family was forced to seize Harper's Ford before it was all over. The Howes eventually joined the rebellion, when all of Ferelden united behind King Merrick and General Loghain, just as now we united behind Merrick's son, King Callan, to fight the Darkspawn. Thank you for indulging an old man.
Does that mean we have to listen to you now?
Silence! I will not have you two becoming smart-mouthed hooligans. Perhaps you should go. I doubt they need any more distraction. I'm just going to settle in here and apparently just talk to myself for all the good I'm doing. Myself all this while.
And the voice acting in this game, I think, is just superb. A pretty star-studded cast, honestly. Like, you've got Tim Curry, who plays Arl Howe. You've got... I can never remember his name, but the voice actor for
I shall do it.
Taron Logan, or Logain, is the same voice actor for Cain from the Blood of Cain series and Soul Reaver series. Just an outstanding cast. Did such a fantastic job on this game, and I feel like this is probably one of my favorite voice acted games of all time. Like, I do really believe that this game has a lot to show for it.
I shall do it.
In the time of the duration of the time that you play it, essentially. So.
Get that bloody mutt out of the larder.
But mistress, it won't let us
I think that a
If I
lot
can't
of
get into that
what
larder, I'll skin both of you
brings
useless
this game
elves,
to
I
life
swear
is
it.
not only the voice
Calm
acting, but a
down,
lot
good
of the
woman.
scenes that you'll
We've come
see.
to help.
You and you. Your bloody mongrel keeps getting into my larder. That beast should be put down.
Like, a lot of these scenes could have really just been not,
A blight wolf is what he is. How am I supposed to work like this?
it just makes it feel more natural
Mistress,
into
calm down,
while playing.
please.
So
That's it. I'll quit. Inform the turner. I'll go and cook at some nice estate in the Banorn.
Nan, please. We'll get the dog. Calm down.
Just get him gone. I've enough to worry about with a castle full of hungry soldiers. You two, stop standing there like idiots. Get out of the way.
okay. So this is going to be new for me, so I'm actually glad that they're kind of going over this a little bit. Cool. Alright, oh. So, like I was saying, these scenes and the voice acting makes it feel more natural while playing, and it actually does immerse you into the game,
Oh,
which
look
a
at that
lot of
mess.
role-playing
How did he
games
even
I
get
think
in here?
miss nowadays. They just go for the sole RPG level, and they kind of leave some scenes lackluster. So I think that a lot of this is just, it makes
Wait,
the game
did you hear
feel
that?
so much better. And of course now we get to name and of course I'm going to go with my favorite name. And we're going to go ahead and right click that.
Now you fall.
I like to use the pause menu to try to assess the battlefield, because sometimes you're moving around a lot, and it doesn't help to get a lot of the enemies kind of scatter
Giant
like this.
rats. It's like the start of every bad
So being
adventure
able
tale
to
my grandfather
pause
used to
the
tell.
combat and then
Your
being able
hound
to
must have
turn
chased them in
and
through
being
their
able to see
holes.
where it's at.
Looks like he wasn't
really
raiding the
does help.
larder after all. Those were rats from the Kokari Wilds. Best not to tell Nan. She's upset enough as it is. But seeing as you've got your Mabari well in hand, I'll be on my way. I'm to prepare for the arrival of more of the Isle's men.
But very well, like I was saying, the start of this game is just one of my favorite starts. Especially the human one. And you'll sort of
There
see
he
that
is,
later
as
as we
brazen
get
as you
into the
please,
series.
licking his
why
chops
I
after helping
choose
himself to the
human,
roast, no doubt.
Rogue so much other than just for the chests. So
What? Rats? Not the large grey ones.
They'll rip you to shreds, they will.
See, now you've gone and scared the servants. I expect those filthy things are dead. Oh, I bet that dog led those rats into there to begin with. Oh, don't even start with the sad eyes. I'm immune to your so-called charms. Here then, take these pork bits and don't say that Nan never gives you anything.
see what I mean by more like a natural feeling to
Thank
it.
you, my lord. Now we can get to work. That's right, you two. Quit standing about.
It's just it really does make it have a more natural feeling to it, having the interactions like this, because it makes it more custom to you. Because again, I could have chose not to tell her about the rats, and you could have got a completely different playthrough.
And my dear Bryce,
And that's the best thing about Dragon Age, is the sheer amount of playthrough value that it does have. Because every time you pick something in a sentence, it changes the interaction just enough that you don't know if it's going to be the same ending. So
You've always had a way with her. Darling, you remember Lady Landra, Ban Lawrence's wife?
I think we last met at your mother's spring salon. You're too kind, dear boy. Didn't I spend half the salon shamelessly flirting with you?
Right in front of your family, too.
You remember my son, Darren. He's riding with your father tomorrow.
It's good to see you again, my lord.
And this is my lady-in-waiting, Iona. Do say something, dear.
It is a great honor, my lord. I have heard many wonderful things about you.
Don't look now, Eleanor. But I believe the girl has a crush on your lad.
Lady Landra!
Hush, Landra. You'll turn the poor thing scarlet.
As it pleases you, my lord.
I think perhaps I shall rest now, my dear. Darren, I will see you and Iona at supper.
Perhaps we'll retire to the study for now.
Good evening, your lordship.
As you say.
I will say the difference between the 360 version and this one is hugely different on this the FPS. Like, this feels way smoother to play versus the 360 version, which I love, because I always wanted it to be like way, what's the word I'm looking for? I wanted it to always feel like I was being able to move the cameras a lot smoother, and this is just 10 times different, especially with playing it on the Xbox Series X, where it got a lot of the, you know, quote-unquote HDR upgrades, where or not HDR, but FPS upgrades and the HDR upgrades. This is just, it doesn't look any different to me, and other than the FPS, and I think that is like the most drastic thing for me, and I just love it.
Be a war, Papa? Will you bring me back a sword?
That sword, Oren, and I'll get you the mightiest one I can find, I promise. I'll be back before you know it.
I wish victory was indeed so certain. My heart is disquiet.
Don't frighten the boy, love. I speak the truth, and here's my little brother to see me off. Now dry your eyes, love, and wish me well. Stay. I'd like to say farewell. I wish you could come. It'll be tiring killing all those darkspawn myself.
Surely your father would not place both his heirs in danger?
Mother and father have been fighting about it for days. It's too bad. I could have used you at my side.
Really? Was he riding a griffin?
Shh, Oren. Griffins only exist in stories now.
I'd heard that. Did he say why he's come? Oh, if I were a Grey Warden, little brother, I'd have my eye on you. Not that father would ever allow it. Then the Arl's men are delayed. You'd think his men were all walking backwards. Well, I'd better get underway. So many darkspawn to behead, so little time. Off we go then. I'll see you soon, my love.
I would hope, dear boy, that you plan to wait for us before taking your leave.
Be well, my son. I will pray for your safety every day you are gone.
The Maker sustain and preserve us all. Watch over our sons, husbands and fathers, and bring them safely back to us.
And bring us some ale and wenches while you're at it. For the men, of course.
Fergus, you would say this in front of your mother?
What's a wench? Is that what you pull on to get the bucket out of the well?
A wench is a woman that pours the ale in a tavern, Orin. Or a woman who drinks a lot of ale.
Bryce, maker's breath. I swear it's like living with a pack of small boys.
I'll miss you, Mother dear. You'll take care of her brother, won't you?
Oh, good. How thrilling to know I'm so well taken care of.
Enough, enough. Pup, you'll want to get an early night. You've much to do tomorrow.
Like, just those scenes, like, again, those scenes are so perfect. However, I do think that's a perfect spot to end the gameplay. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And again, if you guys do want to see me do the side quests, leave it down in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to pip to doodly do. Later on, peace.